Before I retire, I have to fix a few things. I do a lot of talking about knowing your number and figuring out how much you need and living on your retirement budget. But one of the biggest reasons I've not pulled the trigger and I'm doing extra preparation on piling up a cash pile, etc., is if I decide to retire before I'm 65, I'm going to have to pay for my own health insurance. So as I have started looking at the cost of said gap health insurance between working for someone else and having their benefits and getting to age 65 and on Medicare, there's a lot of reasons why we might want to do some personal maintenance now. This video and for the next 16 days, I'm going to give you little updates. My check engine soon light started coming on a few months ago. Actually, probably about 10-15 years ago, but it starts small. So many things in our health to do, and we can explain it away with, oh, I was just cold, or my hand just fell asleep, etc. And I'm talking about carpal tunnel. All right, so that's a surgery I'm about to have in 2 days. I'm doing the endoscopic, not the open, so I'm pleased about that. But I do have some concerns about how it's going to impact my channel in my life. So doing my adulting, because we always give our employer 100% of what they're paying for, I have paused with doing a lot of the computer work this past week up until my surgery date in 2 days to do some of literally the heavy lifting, because I work with a lot of documentation and I have a bunch of hard copies that I have to finish processing through so I can ship them back to storage, and that's going to come due during my recovery time. So preemptively, because I am the professional and you are too, I talked with my boss, as I said, we've got to change focus. I cannot continue doing the electronic stuff right now. Let me do the physical heavy lifting. So I'm doing that. But the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because if you're out there considering retirement, whether it's an early retirement, a glide retirement, a hybrid retirement, take advantage of the tools you have now. This job, yes, your current job is the tool that you're using to build your future. You have already done the numbers, and if you haven't, go down to the description. Yes, I have to tell you again, Master Your Money Plan, Life Experiences to Income Workbooks. Those are free for you out in my Retirement Resource Center. But you need to figure out what you need every month. And sometimes health things pop up unexpectedly, and we're going to have to address them. But when you know there's things you've been putting off for way too long, before you glide on out of here, take the tool, which is your current health insurance, and go have some things checked out. I have some people in my life, some very close people in my life, who choose to keep their head buried in the sand because they're not ready to change their lifestyles. They're not ready to make better health decisions. They would rather not know and just take it as well, that was God's will for me. God gave us, for those, regardless of who and how you believe, but we all have the personal responsibility for these physical vessels. So if you choose to just say, whatever happens, happens, good for you. But I personally, I want to continue using my hands. I want to continue having feeling. I want to sleep pain-free. So in a nutshell, this is the road that I have walked thus far. Back in my 40s, I would wake up with sparkles in my hands. You know, that feeling like your hands are falling asleep. Talked to my primary care physician back in the day, and he says, well, just wear some splints at night. You probably got early carpal tunnel, slight carpal tunnel, but these splints will take care of it. And they did. I went for a long period of not having any issues whatsoever. And then probably late 40s, after a couple of years of quietness in my hands, I developed trigger fingers. And then I started having some significant pain, which I chalked up to early arthritis, etc., etc. Because we do a lot of self-diagnosing, and God forbid you Google it or you YouTube it, because you're going to find 10 answers to every symptom you've got. I again visited with a new primary care. Maybe back in 21. Um, Again, bringing up because the pain had returned at night, and so she gave me a prescription for naproxen, and if that didn't help me manage the discomfort, she would refer me out to an orthopedist to figure out what was going on. She suspected carpal tunnel. So fast forward to last fall, things got a little bit progressive, and it was not just at night on the occasion. It was now as I was working on computers or doing it's repetitive use injury, so to speak, but they've done a lot more research on it. It's not necessarily just repetitive use injury, and a lot of people get it in their less dominant hand. So I have it bilaterally. So I finally faced the music, went saw a hand specialist, had a nerve study done. I am ate up with it, both hands. So of course, can I put it off? How long? Can you give me a shot? Can I do physical therapy? Well, I've done the physical therapy. The shot's not going to do anything for me. I'm too far along. So, number one, go get yourself checked out with whatever might be going on with you you're putting off. Because if you get ahead of it, you can prevent some of the long-term impacts and or permanent damage. So my hand surgeon said, we highly recommend you doing the surgery. You're already having some atrophy, etc. And this here, you can, I don't know, see that one's flatter than the other. So long story short, I'm out on the internet. I am looking for information, not finding a whole heck of a lot of it. I have the Y chromosome. I do. I was a son Dad never had, so I'm not getting melodramatic and going over the top about, oh, it's going to be so horrible, it's going to be so pain. I know it's like preparing for a hurricane. I've got things in place in case a worst case scenario happens, but it's going to be a walk in the park. So I'm telling myself, and I'm pretty sure it is, but I want to share this with y'all because I want you to go start getting yourself checked out with whatever might be going on. Go get that full body checkup with a dermatologist. Make sure you got nothing. Jimmy Buffett went down with skin cancer. You don't want to be that. And if you can get in front of it or you can find it early, go do it. If you're having tingling in your hands at night, if you suspect carpal tunnel or you've heard the word at some point when you were talking to a medical provider, quit denying it. Just go and find out. Because it's never going to be more economical than it is right now while you still have a full-time job with health and medical, with possible short-term disability, long-term disability, if there's things that you, and don't get scared of those terms, because I'm not saying you're going to go out and you can't work anymore. No. But if you need to step away and take some time off for rehab, you've got that in place with some peace of mind, which is important in the healing process. All right. So this is my check group gin for today. Go get yourself checked out. I'm 2 days off from doing my surgery. I will be giving you updates as we go. From what I understand, endoscopic, it's going to be minimally invasive. It's going to be a incision here, possibly just surgical glue, maybe 1 or 2 stitches, depending. It should be minimally impactful. I will have to go through a period of a couple of weeks of not lifting anything. I've heard over 5 pounds. I've heard nothing more than a cup of coffee or a bottle of water. I've got a list of questions I'm going to talk to my doctor about before we go under the knife, so to speak, because he gave me all of these details last Monday, a week ago Monday, when I met with him and we were making these decisions. But you don't retain everything he told you, and all the questions I asked, because I'm sure I asked some great questions, it just didn't sink, because now I've agreed to have surgery, and that had a whole different focus for me during that conversation. So I've got my list. I will leave there with all of the appropriate information on what I should and should not do. I know you all wish me the best. I have queued up multiple weeks of pre-recorded videos so that y'all won't miss a beat with how to prepare for your retirement. But we're going to interject retirement with preparing, getting your health in order. My future self is going to thank me When I'm out doing the zip lines or climbing Machu Picchu, I'm going to need both hands, and I'm going to need them to have sensation. I'm going to be able to button up my pants or do other things. Those are questions too. All those personal toiletry necessities. How is that going to work out? You guys keep coming back. I'll give you more information about that. But do yourself a favor. Go and take care of things now. I post on Wednesdays and Saturdays. This has been a Jigger Jen because I had to get this off my chest. I will be reporting to you daily. There may even be a couple of lives in this. I'll see you soon. Stop recording.